Good afternoon, all the participants. Welcome to the webinar on Patentability in Engineering. I, YVS Durga Prasad, Director for Industrial Relations, ACE Engineering College, would welcome you for the webinar. So here we are very happy on behalf of Training and Placement team to have one of the very resourceful person called Dr. Madhan Kumar Sir from Accenture, who could give his valuable insights in regard to the patentability. Before I could introduce more details about our speaker, Dr. Madhan sir, let me give a brief introduction about this webinar and about the college. Then I will try to introduce you to the speaker of the day. So today's program, the webinar in patentability in engineering is hosted by ACE Engineering College in association with Researchers Academy. The focus of this program is to give insights to all the faculty and the industry people and insights on how to achieve patentability in the various fields of engineering, particularly related with cloud and data analytics. I'm very happy that a good strength of people have registered for this webinar. So before we hand over the session to our Madan sir, let me give a brief introduction about ACE Engineering College. ACE Engineering College started in the year 2007 by Yadala Satyanarayana Educational Memorial Trust with 5 branches, and namely CSC, ECE, EEE, Mechanical, Civil, and later we have added IT. And now this year we have also introduced the courses in Artificial Intelligence and Machine Learning. And our college has got autonomous status for a period of 10 years from 2020 to 2030. It's 5 branches: Civil, Mechanical, ECE, EEE, and CSE are NBA accredited, and the college is NAAC A grade accredited. So this is a brief about ACE Engineering College. Let me first give a brief introduction about our speaker, Dr. Madhan sir. I have a small PPT to give you his brief introduction. Then I will hand over my session to the Madhan sir. Right. Dr. Madhan Kumar Srinivasan, an Accenture prolific inventor, is currently the Associate Vice President of ICI Innovation Center, Accenture Technology, Bangalore. He is an inventor of 52 patents, which include the 6 patents granted. He is the advisory board member for the Cambridge Scholarship Publishing United Kingdoms, and is also a founder mentor of Cloud Computing Innovation Council of India. So Dr. Madhan is an IIM Calcutta alumnus and Accenture prolific inventor. This is the title of honor given by Accenture. Is an inventor of 52 product patents that are independently filed in USA, Europe, UK, Australia, and Indian regions. It includes 8 patents granted by USA and Australia. He is currently the Associate Vice President and Lead Cloud Analytics at ICI Innovation Center, Accenture Technology, Bangalore. And as mentioned, he is also an advisory board member of Cambridge Scholars Publishing, UK, and a founder member of Cloud Computing Innovation Council of India. Prior to Accenture, Sir has worked as Assistant Director and Principal Consultant at GSTF Singapore and as a Senior Member of Education and Research at Infosys. He holds a PhD in Cloud Computing from Hindustan University, India, and an Executive Management Program EPBA specialized in Business Analytics from IIM Calcutta. He is an AWS Certified Cloud Solutions Architect, Azure Certified Cloud Professional, IBM Certified Cloud Solution Architect, IBM Certified Big Data Hadoop, and MAPR Certified Big Data Professional. So 2000 to 2013, Madhan sir was associated with Infosys as a senior member of E&R, and from 2013 to present, he is a founder for Cloud Computing Innovation Council of India, and he currently is Associate Vice President in Accenture. What are the key achievements that our Dr. Madhan sir have achieved in his period of 10 years? Dr. Madhan has received the Top 100 Scientist Award from IBC Cambridge, England in 2014 and Accenture Prolific Inventor in the 2019. Accenture has only named 49 inventors as prolific inventors among 4.6 lakhs employees in 120 plus countries as on April 2009. That's a great achievement for our Madhan sir, and recipient of Accenture's most prestigious global award, Accenture Inventor Award for 3 consecutive years, 2017, 18, 19, and Cloud Tech Guru Award for the year 2012 from Infosys. He has featured 2 times the Accenture Greater Than Awards in 2018 and 2019, which is considered to be the highest recognition Accenture in 120 plus countries. This year, Dr. Madhan's one of the innovation has been positioned as top 13 global inventions in Accenture Invention of the Year Award 2020. He was recognized as one of the top 10% most viewed LinkedIn profiles in India since LinkedIn in 2012, and he received Albert Nielsen Marquess Lifetime Achievement Award 2018 from Marquess, New Jersey, USA. He is also a recipient of most prestigious Inspiring Teaching Award 2010 from Teachers Academy at Osmania University, India. So the key achievements: 50 plus patents, 20 plus publications, 10 plus certifications from Microsoft, AWS, IBM, and MAPR. And Madan sir's 50th patent filed in USA. Patent split in USA he has 17, Europe and UK he has 12, Australia 10, and India 11. We are, on behalf of all of us, we will actually congratulate our Madan sir for such a wonderful achievement. So he has been included in the Forbes list 2020 Great People Manager. This is a Great Manager Institute Award. So for being nominated to Forbes list 2020. He has filed 43 patents for Accenture in USA, Europe, Australia, India, and 4 patents granted from USA, Australia. One of his recently granted Australian patent has been nominated for the Invention of the Year 2020. So he is the Inventor Award program has given him this appreciation. During that particular program, he was given this Accenture Prolific Inventor title. So where Madan sir have participated in number of conferences, webinars, guest lectures to share his knowledge to the students and the faculty. And these are the few of the glimpses. As we said, he is from IIM, which he has done his management course. He is a resource person in many programs. And we have a wonderful session given by our Madan sir. And that particular inspiration talk is available on the YouTube, which we can view. And this is a journey of Dr. Madhan Kumar in terms of patents. So from April 2017, where he filed his first patent, to now he got 52 patents under his name. So before I hand over the session to our Dr. Madhan Kumar, let me just give a small caption for this particular inauguration of session, that never stop learning because life never stops teaching. With this positive note, looking forward for a great afternoon with you, Madan sir. We welcome you for the session, and on behalf of our ACE Engineering College management, principal, staff, and the students, we are thank you for spending your valuable time to share the insights which could be useful for everyone. Now I'm handing the session to our Dr. Madhan Kumar sir, and we'll have the session. Thank you.
Thanks, Professor Durga Prasad, for setting the context and introducing me to the audience. Good afternoon, all. I am more than happy to be part of this wonderful webinar being organized by ACE Engineering College, one of the globally known institution, an academy, popular for its IIT coaching, and now producing responsible students and responsible citizens for India. So I'm glad that I could able to see so many interesting participants on this Saturday afternoon. This only shows and gives me a confirmation that how many of you are interested to learn something even on your vacation or rest time. It's wonderful. So we are so delighted to see the huge amount of registration for this program. This only motivate us to do something better every time, right? So today I'm going to talk about patentability, right? So what is patentability, right? So you would have heard the term patents, IP, copyright, etc. So what is the new term, patentability, right? So that is going to be the center of today's session. and this is going to be a kind of 2.5 hours long. Certainly, it's one of the lengthier webinars, but I'm sure by end of today, including you and myself, we will end up learning something very interesting, something very mutual, right? So please post your questions in the chat window that is available, and also our organizers are sharing the live YouTube video in case if you want to answer some questions, and if you want to share it with your friends, colleagues, etc. You can use the YouTube link and make use of it. So you can chat with our moderators, post your questions at the end of the session. Probably like I will spend 10-15 minutes to take up and answer as many questions as possible. Also, at the end of the session, I will leave my contact details. I'll also leave my email ID so that if you want to ask your questions, you can feel free to write it there, right? So let's get into today's program. So what are we going to cover in this 2.5 hours long session? What are we going to really learn, and how the session is being split? So here is a larger agenda. So I'm going to start with some of the very interesting statistics about where India stands in global stage, right? So I'm going to talk about India and patents counts, etc. In addition to that, in the first section, we will also look at some of the most innovative companies, that are ranked by 2020, right? So let us see the latest list of globally renowned most innovative companies. At least we'll look at the top 50 companies, and we will see. We'll try to understand how companies are playing an important role and where the innovation is happening, etc. In addition to that, I am also going to talk about some of the very interesting, creativity index reports and the statistics, and where India positions among many other global nations. So we will understand, like being an Indian, how proud we are, and where are we now, and where are we supposed to move on. Further, I will spend some more time on what is intellectual property, what are the different types of intellectual property, and what are the typical steps and the processes, right? So, which is very important for us to understand. Then let us move on to the core of today's topic, patentability. So, I'm going to take you through, in patent, what one need to do in order to get his patent filed, what all the process, the step-by-step stuff, and where he should involve with other team members. And we will also look at, in order to get a patent from a simple idea, what are the properties of it, right? And we will also look at some of the best practices. So I believe the best practices are something which I'm going to talk from my experience. So I'm sure if you can start practicing those steps, you will get a huge benefit out of it, right? And at the end, I'm also going to talk about a very important initiative for India. We named it as India Patent Initiative. This has been driven purely by Researchers Academy in association with multiple technological universities and other engineering and arts and science colleges in India. So I will talk about what is this India Patent Initiative movement, what are we planning to do, what are we trying to achieve, and can you be part of it? If you want to be part of it, like what you should do, etc. Right? So believe me, guys, today we are going to have this 2.5 hour session, and probably some of you would have attended some of the patent sessions, so which will mostly talk about the theoretical steps of how you can do the legal aspect, etc. So I'm not going to touch all those. So this is going to be a complete a content packed, power packed session that is going to come from a practitioner, right? So I'm going to take you through the journey of me, how what are all the good and bad practices that I have come across, and how we ended up filing good number of patents, right? So let's move on. So I'm sure so this session is actually open for international audience, and I have seen majority of registrations from India. I think more than 95% of the registrations are from India, and thanks to my international friends and colleagues who are online now. So while we are going to talk about patentability, I also feel as an Indian citizen, we most of us on the call as an Indian, we have a huge responsibility on our shoulder, right? India, globally, historically known as innovative country, no doubt about it, right? So culturally enhanced and improved, always advanced compared to any other country in the world. That's how India is popularly known, right? So that is our legacy. So are we continuing that legacy even today? So that is the question. We need to understand the answer for it. So to get the right answer, I'm not going to talk simply in general, and I'm not going to do a political talk, but let us get into some of the statistics published by some of the world intellectual property or patent organizations, and also some of the top research organization and Indian companies, right? So let's get in to understand where India stands when it comes to patents. So this is one of the very interesting figure. I always happy to look at this. So for on purpose, I have removed two statistics from here. I'm going to show one now and one later. So this is the statistics published by UNESCO Institute for Statistics, and this is the figure as on 2015, and the UNESCO Institute for Statistics published this list to say in each country what is the number of researchers, meaning patent filing experts per 1 million, meaning per 10 lakh in Indian language, right? So per 10 lakh in each country, how many inventors are there, right? So yeah, it is surprising to see that Japan in this list standing apart with 5,200 plus researchers, which is amazing number, whereas China has 1,200 plus inventors, and US and Europe stands in between. Of course, we are very much interested to see India's number. Where India, right? Where India can stand, where India is supposed to stand, right? So, of course, like I have taken India statistics from here. So let me show you where India stands. Yes, if you are searching India somewhere in the middle of the graph, sorry, as on 2015's figure, or as per 2016, India is not in anywhere middle of the previous numbers that I have shown. Yeah, so India is standing probably at last in this list, right? So is it bad? Not necessarily. We will look at why only 216 people, but still it is a disturbing number. We as an Indian, we have a responsibility to do something. So let us try to understand a little more about it, right? So now looking at this number, can we conclude stating Japan is the country that has maximum number of researchers in the world? The answer is no. There is one more country which is even better with respect to per million or per 10 lakh capita researchers, right? So which may be that country, right? So I would request all the participants to put your answers in whichever the chat window you are in. Please throw your answers, and you can also use the YouTube live, and you can paste your answers, right? Which may be the country that would have more patents than more researchers per million than Japan, right? So there is another country. So this is the number per 1 million per 10 lakh citizens. There is a country that has 7,100 researchers, which is amazing number, right? Probably like as an Indian, I would want my flag, my country to come at that place. So do you know which country? Have you seen this figure? How many of you recognize this flag? Yes. So this is South Korea. So South Korea stands apart in the entire list, which purely has the maximum number of researchers per million, per 10 lakh members. Of course, this is a little older statistics, probably 5 years old. But however, even if you look at the latest statistics, you wouldn't be surprised to see that the numbers would have not really gone very different, right? So here is the list, another statistics that talks about, how many the same country residents, meaning Indians filing patents in India. Japanese filing patents in Japan, right? So if you look at again this number, it is so surprising. This is as per World Intellectual Property (WIPO), World Intellectual Property Organization. It says only 11 Indians per million, per 10 lakh members. Only 11 Indians are filing patents in India. What does it mean? What about the remaining members in the 216? So they all file maximum number of patents in other countries, right? Interesting, right? So let's move on. So here is another interesting statistic that talks about what about every citizens who are filing patents in non-residential place, meaning being an Indian, being a Chinese, where I am filing apart from my native country, right? So if you look at that statistics, US again stands apart, and if you compare, our number and US number, the number is very different, right? So here is another interesting number. We are moving on to 2017's statistics. So this talks about the total number of filed applications in 2017 and total number of granted patents, right? Again, if you look at the total number as such, China, you can easily assume why, because of their number of citizens and their larger innovations and etc. So China stands apart. They are at the top, and we have the figures for others. So where is India? So let us try to look at the India figure, right? So here is India. Yes, of course, we are at the last. So there is no comparison with any country or any continent with respect to the number of patents that we are either filing or getting granted, right? Uh, let's move on. Let's try to understand. I know this number is shocking. If you ask me, am I very happy to show these numbers to my fellow Indians? I am not. Am I talking about India is bad, other countries are good? Not at all. I am a patriotic Indian. I am a global citizen. But this hurts. Being an Indian, looking at India position in lower ranks anywhere, it hurts, right? So I wanted to bring this to my fellow Indians, my co-citizens, so that we all together will understand where are we today, and we all have some responsibility to do, right? Who is responsible for such a lower number? Let us discuss about it, right? So here is another interesting statistics as per 2018 and 19, which are all the companies that has filed maximum number of patents in that 1 year period, right? If you look at a single company that has filed more than 1,500 patents, is Qualcomm, a great innovative companies. I'm sure none of us today, while we are speaking, I don't know how many of you are connected for this session on your mobile. So you will have one or more than one Qualcomm chips in your mobile, right? And your computers, your laptops, any electronic device, any electrical device. So Qualcomm is a great innovative company. So that stands apart, and Samsung, Huawei, Ericsson, Oppo. So these are all great. Now here there is one more question that comes to our mind. So if you look at all these companies, none of these companies are Indian-based companies or Indian native companies, right? But of course, these companies operate in India also. We are very happy. We are welcoming the global nations to come and start their companies in India and give job to our Indian citizens. We are very happy. At the same time, somewhere we feel why not Indian companies also can come in the top list, right? It is somewhere disturbing. However, let us move on. Let us look at pure Indian players, Indian companies, and let's see which are all the top players, right? Yes, yeah. What your eyes are seeing is your real figure, true numbers, right? IITs are considered to be the pride of our nation, IITs and IIMs, right? So proudly, nevertheless, all IITs put together, they add respect to our pride. So they are in the top of the list. So together, all IITs combined, they have filed close to 600, little less than 600, 557 patents. That's an actual number. And if you move on, we have Chandigarh University as an independent university has filed more than 300 patents. It is really a great achievement. And immediately TCS comes as our savior. So TCS alone has filed 239 patents and so on, right? So now probably these numbers would look small to our eyes. However, it is not easy, right? Believe me, even a single patent filing is a dream for many, and it is not an easy task. It is going to take all the efforts for anybody to get their dream fulfilled, right? So these are all great numbers, but is it sufficient for us to stand in the global ground? The answer is no, right? So I'm sure you would understand my intention of why I have brought these numbers to your eyes, especially. So we need to really understand, and we need to really do something in order to get the pride back to our country, right? Let's move on. Right, so as we understand the statistics very specifically with respect to number, I would like to take you all to another interesting report. We call it as GCI report, Global Creativity Index report. This has been published by Martin Prosperity Institute, popularly known as MPI, in 2015. So this GCI report identifies or analyzes the global countries and figures out in various aspects of creativity with multiple metrics from a creativity perspective where individual countries are standing, right? So here are the top 10 countries that has positioned in global creative index list. Of course, our eyes are searching for one country, India. Sorry to answer this. India is not there on the top 10 list. Then where it is, right? So let's look at the top 10 countries, which is very important for us to look at. Like Australia stands apart when it comes to. I'm not talking about number of patents, number of numbers, but I'm talking about the class. I'm talking about the capability, right? So Australia, New Zealand takes away number first and number third position as per the recent statistics. US comes second, and then all the other countries. And you would notice Singapore as a only Asian country to stand at the top 10 list as ninth rank, right? That is still good. So, but our interest is to see where India comes in, right? So here is India, probably in the list, second number, 99th ranked, right? Of course, we can still be happy. We can still be proud that we may not be top 10, but still we are under the top 100, which is not bad. But still, we could do much better, right? So based on that rank, so here is a global map that talks about that visually shows which countries are positioned at what level, right? So I'm going to show you a few more global maps with multiple matrices, different analysis. So this is the overall ranking, the global creativity index. The way to understand this graph better is more darker your country is, it has better prospect, right? If your country is more darker, then it has good ranking and good capability, right? So let's move on to the next interesting figure. So innovation map. So what we have seen is the overall rank. Now we'll get into individual components. If you look at innovation map, so probably this innovation map is so closely connected to the existing innovation, number of patents, etc. If you look at that figure, again, India's color is not very dark at the same time, not very lighter color. Still, it is good, not bad. So, but still, we should work more and make sure in future when the same analysis repeats, the color of India should go more darker, right? And you should understand what do you mean by the white color? White meaning those countries are really under crisis on those titled analysis, right? So we should really do something if the countries which colors are more lighter or white in nature, right? Now always of course, as an Indian, I'm sure all of us are proud about two things, right? I'm sure you wouldn't deny with me. I would be proud of India with respect to innovation, right? And also, I will also be proud about India with respect to the talent map, meaning the number of people who are highly talented, right? So now I'm going to show you the talent map as per GCI report, but this map is going to show you per capita. It's not about per country how many people. Of course, in that analysis, India would be in better shape, better position, but this map is going to talk about per capita, meaning per 1 lakh, how many talented people are there in each country, right? Yes. Compared to the previous two figure, you would surprisingly see that India's color is becoming more lighter. We are moving away from top 100 rank, right? So as we imagine, as we dream, India is no more a talent pool company, so talent pool country, meaning you can still say India has good talent overall with respect to the number of people, but if we take the crowd, the total crowd of citizens, we still have a strong potential to grow knowledge wise. So that is where our Indian institutions, education institutions, be it engineering college or universities or arts and science colleges, even schools, they have a great job to play, right? Let's move on. So among all the figures, so this is my favorite figure because this figure, this statistics talks about creative class. Let me define what is creative class. So creative class is irrespective of whatever happened in the past, right? But now, what is the potential with the current state, right? With the current capability, where the country has the potential to grow in future, right? This is a future analysis. Now, let's look at, yes, you are seeing the right figure. It is not a happy figure to look at. I completely understand and I agree with you. India is in white color, very white color. Let me, make it close to your eyes. So this is where we are. What does it mean? When it with the current setup, with the current analysis, with the current number of researchers, the kind of innovations that we are doing, the kind of PhDs that we are producing, the kind of masters and bachelors that we are producing, India is in a weaker stage, right? If we don't do anything now, certainly we are going to lose our glory in very short time, right? So let us wake up, right? So this is what I want to show you about the creativity part, which is essential, right? Which is very important for everybody to join together and try. Of course, I don't want to make this webinar as pure India based webinar. Of course, as I said, I do have a global participants, so I'm sure beyond Indians, those who are on the call, you would also understand where your individual countries are standing, right? So what are the reasons? Let us try to analyze the reasons. So before we get into the reasons, let us look at the most innovative companies list for 2020, right? So here are those 50 countries. Of course, I tried to put everything into a single slide. It may not be completely visible. So what I'll do is let me show you, the list properly. So here is the top 10, the highly proud top 10. Of course, Apple stands as the best, most innovative company. See the number next to the circled number is, this is the previous year rank, right? So it says Apple has moved 2 rank upside, meaning last year Alphabet. I'm sure hope all of you are aware of what is Alphabet. For those who don't know, Alphabet is the parent company of Google, where our Google CEO Sundar Pichai has been made as a CEO of Alphabet also recently, right? So Alphabet, in an easy way to understand, you can say it is Google, right? So Alphabet and Amazon was positioned #1 and #2 last year, but as per the latest ranking, as per the latest analysis, they have come step down one rank from their last year position, and Apple has moved to a top position, and followed by Microsoft, Samsung, all the great companies. And you should also look at one interesting figure, right? The company Hawaii, though it had lot of struggles in the recent times, many struggles, right? On top of everything, Hawaii could able to move to 42 ranks upside, meaning last year in the same list Hawaii was positioned as 48. Right now, this has moved 42 rank upside, and it has become 6 in its position. So here are the top 10. Let's look at the next 10s, 11 to 20. This is for your eyes. 21 to 25. 26 to 30. I hope you are able to understand which companies are this. The last in the list, 40 to 50. Right. So here are the top 50 once again for your eyes, guys. So I want to show you, I want to talk about few interesting statistics, right? So I said Hawaii has moved 42 ranks, which is amazing stuff. One of the reasons for Hawaii to achieve such a great height is in last year, Hawaii management has invested 19 billion US dollar on their research and development, which is amazing, right? So you need a proper investment in order to achieve greater heights. Similarly, the another company which has moved so much in the list is Walmart and HP. They have moved 29 ranks upward, right? So one of the reasons for Walmart to position at top in top 20 is last year they have started a new innovative project. Today, what they are doing is they could able to do next day delivery of their products, covering more than 75% of the US population, which is great, which has never happened in the history of US, right? Similarly, we need to understand one more thing about another company, which is Coca-Cola, right? So unfortunately, Coca-Cola, we all know the reputation of Coca-Cola, and I'm sure like for how many of us the Coca-Cola is a favorite drink, right? Coca-Cola has struggled to come back to the list in the last 5 years. Okay, meaning they couldn't position themselves in top 50, though they are such a giant. They have such a huge revenue, such a customer base across the globe. Even on top of it, this list is little different, right? This is about most innovative companies. It is not about most rich companies. It's not about most revenue making companies. Of course, if you are most innovative over a period of time, whatever the other two titles I have added will also naturally happen to these companies, right? So there is one more important thing I want to bring it to your eyes, right? So that is, if you have noticed, more than 50% of the companies in the top 50 list are from US. At least they are headquartered in US, right? Proudly and happily, I would say the next to US, compared to European countries, China stands as a top player from Asia, right? But otherwise, we don't see any other countries to play a bigger role in the list. So, right now, looking at all these statistics and the most innovative companies, I'm sure you would have enjoyed and you would have learned something. But let us analyze why only these countries could able to make it to the top list. Why they are positioned better. What is problem either with India or those countries which are not onto the list? Right. Let us try to analyze the reasons. So see, there are multiple external reasons one can point out, right? So you can talk about the government support. You can talk about funding. You can talk about the importance of research, etc. So which are out of our hand, right? Which are external factors which we may or may not be able to address immediately, right? Probably the better way for us to address the external factor, according to me, would be educating our current generation so that, like, our future political landscape will be better than what we are today, right? So, but otherwise, I would like to discuss about most of the internal reasons. What are something that is in our hand? I'm sure, like, today I am having maximum number of people, participants from educational institutions. You may be a professor, you may be a research scholar, you may be a PG student or UG student, or there are people from schools management, teachers, right? Majority of educationists. So I wanted to address the possible solutions, possible reasons which we can control by ourselves, right? My first reason, as per my understanding and as per my analysis, is there is a big confusion or misconception about publication versus patents, right? So academia confuses and it misunderstands patents. In fact, how many of you know that even to get your PhD degree, like most of the UGC affiliated universities, they will have, two minimum publications in a reputed journal or a good conference as the base guideline to grant your PhD degree, right? How many of you are aware even filing a patent will make the eligibility? I think majority of the universities will consider one patent as equally to two or more than two research papers, right? So at least in India, as I advise some of the educational institutions, and I am on to their board of studies, etc. I see that the focus is primarily on to publishing more number of papers, but when it comes to patent, more than emphasis, they don't understand it, right? So please understand, patents do have higher weightage than your paper publication. I'm not saying you don't publish paper, but I'm saying please also give importance, start focusing on filing patents as well. On the other hand, what I'm seeing in recent times with majority of reputed institution in India is, currently our focus is more on job-oriented education, meaning all the universities are primarily interested to, train their students and make them hired by so-called mass companies in big number. So somewhere producing entrepreneurs as well as producing students or preparing students for good R&D institutions, innovation centers are highly missing here. So we need to really focus on, we need to move away from job-oriented education mindset to entrepreneurial mindset, and preparing our students for innovative companies. So that is what I want to talk about: job versus entrepreneurship. So as you have seen in the most innovative companies, we couldn't see many Indian brands, right? At least Indian-based companies. So to make that change, we certainly need to focus on entrepreneurship in coming days, right? So let us try to understand, while these are the reasons why, why we need to go for patent. What is the importance of patents, right? So here are some industry perspective. Of course, for industry, we need patents for branding. Patents will easily win the heart of customer. We will get their confidence and trust on us. We will get a better market share and profits, right? So how many of you know about the success story of 3M, right? How many of you know one of the very popular 3M products, which is sticky notes? The innovation there is the gum, not the paper, right? The gum, that is a patented solution which has an innovative way of sticking onto the wall or any surface which you can re-stick, right? Such a small invention has made an innovative companies like 3M and few others to become global leaders. Similarly, how many of you know what is the market share of iPhone, right? If you look at the overall iPhone sales, as per the recent statistics, iPhones only sell less than 15 percentage of mobile phones in the market, in the global market. Even then, if you look at the most uh, uh, you know most beneficial or most revenue made companies of last year, Apple stands again number one, right? So though a company like Apple has 15 percentage of mobile market share, even then they could able to be a top, and the major reason is being the focus that they give it for innovation, uh, in a way how much they focus on filing more number of patents. Right? So I have summarized all the points, whatever I have discussed here. Let's move on. Let's look at the academy perspective. See, there is a big misconception about patents in academia. As I said, we imagine that we imagine two things, right? One is um, patents. Patenting is a boring stuff. Patenting is not for me. Even if I am a MS scholar, or I'm a master's in technology scholar, or I may be a PhD student either in technology science or management. So we always imagine that patent is for somebody else, not for me, and it is so boring, right? And also when it comes to publication versus patent, we always think that uh, publication will give us uh, you know a publication count, whereas patent cannot. Believe me, patent is a single document, right? That will be a single point for your legal documentation and a scientific publication, right? So you secure your idea in a more legal way, which you can also commercialize at a later point of time. Plus, patent filing, once if it is granted, that is considered to be a scientific publication. So please move away from confusing between publication and patent, and start focusing on uh, uh, emphasizing on patents. Let us understand what will happen if academia is failing to start focusing on patents, right? Simply over a period of time, academia will lose its importance, right? uh, I'm sure there are many prominent Indian university professors and management people are watching this seminar. In the past, I'm sure you would have tried to get MOU with some of the international universities, right? Please recollect what was your experience when you tried to go for MOU, some tie-up with top US or Europe or Australian universities. What happened, right? How was the response? Do you know why? One of the most important reason for international universities and international research organizations to evaluate an education institution is patents, the number of patents, and not only number of patents, they will also look at in your patent portfolio how many of them are international patents beyond your base country. Meaning, if you are an Indian education institution, they will also evaluate. There is a weightage for how many patents you filed in your own country, that is in India, how many patents you filed in global stage, right? So end of the day, a simple conclusion is, for academia to grow internationally, to attract international talents and connections, we need to focus on many things, patents also, right? So as we have analyzed the reasons also, I would like to talk a little more before we will move on to the next topic, right? So now we know the as per statistics where we are standing, and where we are in with respect to the creativity index. Now it's time for us to also understand you know, is it the only reason, whatever we have seen and discussed so far, is it the only reason due to which hello, am I available?
Sir, your screen sharing got stopped.
Okay, so I stopped it, right? So let us try to understand, who is the reason for India to be in lower in number? Why are we so back with respect to creativity? Why many Indian companies are not positioned in global top most innovative companies, right? We can start blaming many people. We can start blame our government. We can start blame our local constituency. We can start blaming our education system, but is it going to really give answers? Is it going to really improve anything? We also need to understand that beyond others, as an individual citizens, each one of us, which is you and me, both of us have our own responsibility. Let us try to understand without bias. If you talk about any country, country is mostly nothing but citizens. If you remove the citizens from all the countries become wasteland. So you cannot do anything, right? So what makes India is the people who are living in India. What makes Australia is the people who are those who are living in India, right? People makes and destroys everything, right? If India is not on top ranks, India is not on in a good position, global standing. We need to understand it is primarily not others' problem. I would say it is you and my problem, right? So unless we realize, unless as a patriotic Indian, if we realize that I really want to start focusing on innovation, I am going to increase the number of patents for India. I am going to increase the creativity index for India. I am going to produce more number of entrepreneurs who will create more innovative companies in the future. Unless we take those votes, unless we take those promises, we are not going to go anywhere, right? So
Mobile data on there.
So let's move on. I'm sharing my screen. Durga Prasad, sir, your volume is on. If you can mute yourself. Thank you.
Okay.
So your mic is on. If you can mute yourself. Yeah. Thank you. Let's proceed. Let's try to understand what are all the intellectual properties. Is it only patent, or is there anything more? And what which are all the things that we can focus on, right? So typically there are 7 types of intellectual properties: patents, copyrights, trademarks and service marks, trade secret. We also call something as GI, geographical indication, industrial designs, and plant varieties. So these are the 7 types of intellectual properties. So if you want to understand, what are these names and how do I refer? Let's take the example of Coca-Cola, right? We all are aware of this name, the logo, the brand name, right? So the brand name is, we call it as trademark, right? And so even without the brand name, if you look at the shape of the bottle or the can, mostly we'll understand whether it is a Pepsi or Coca-Cola bottle, etc. Right? So the design, the bottle design, the can design, we call it as design patents. And for the image or the content, they'll go for copyright. Back then in the bottle we have the cap, right? The cap and the cap opener both are patented. Those are the mechanical technique which can be patented. Those were patented, right? So that is an example for patent. Now in the can we also have the ring pull mechanism, right? So the ring pull mechanism is also patented. You know, what do you mean by patented? Like the person who patented the ring pull can will hold the patent on his name, and whichever the companies uses this ring pull technique into their cans, they need to pay royalty to his either him or to his family compulsorily for the period of 20 years. And after 20 years the technology become openly available for anybody to use. But even if some companies wanted to pay the royalty beyond 20 years, they can pay, and there are companies they pay beyond 20 years as well, right? um, Moving on, the last one, the trade secret, is the formula in which Coca-Cola is made. For example, the taste of Coca-Cola, even today nobody could able to replicate it. There are many companies try to produce something very similar to Coke and Pepsi, etc. In fact, there is a very popular saying in patent lessons, right? So they say Coca-Cola formula, the cool drink formula, is one such unbreakable trade secret so far in the world. Nobody could able to produce the equal drink of what Coca-Cola is, right? So I'm sure you would understand what are those the 7 types of IPs. Let's move on to look at some of the interesting symbols and let's get familiar on. So let me ask you questions, and I'll show you the symbol and I'll ask you the question, so you can start answering in whichever the chat window you can, right? So have you seen this symbol? What this symbol refers to? Right, that is copyright. How many of you have seen this symbol? What this symbol refers to? Okay, I am seeing answers. Okay, okay, many of you have answered as trademark. Okay, interestingly, this TM, circled TM, refers to unregistered trademarks. Okay, okay, what is SM? Okay, so many of you have answered service mark. Again, SM directly refers to unregistered service mark, right? What is R? Yes. So R refers to registered trademark, right? So in many symbols with respect to intellectual property, which may be the most prominent symbol among all, right? If you ask me, I would say circled P, probably like it look like our parking symbol, but in intellectual world, P refers to patent, the patent filing, right? So P would be the most prominent among all the intellectual property symbols, according to me at least. Right? So for an inventor, tell me what would be the most excitement moment in their lifetime? Is it not that the moment when you file your patent? To me, the most excitement moment as an inventor is after completing all my hard work, making a proper documentation, following all the steps, the day when I complete my filing, the patent files, that would be the most excitement moment, right? I would enjoy. So tell me what would be the peace moment, right? So excitement moment is about being happy, celebration, enjoyment, etc. But peace is something you really feel relaxed, right? You get to attain wisdom, right? I'm sure most of you would have guessed, right? Getting your patent granted, that is your peace moment, right? So this is my very first peace moment. So these are the two certificates of my patent grant. The first one came from Australia and the second one came from US. So I'm sure like for any inventor, getting a grant of their patent is the momentum of peace and wisdom. Yeah. So in fact, like while I show these symbols, my pure intention is, like me, I wanted each one of you on the call, or whoever is listening this webinar online, that you should feel the excitement yourself. You should really get the peace and the wisdom what I have experienced in my life of getting your patent granted, right? So I wanted to live a simple dream. I'm sure getting their first patent for anybody is a dream, right? So I wanted to create a new dream for each one of you who all are on the call, that please start plan, start strategize, and start dream to get your first patent out in shortest time possible, and let's start work towards it, right? So let's move on to the core of today's topic, patentability. What is patentability, right? Let's understand patent in more broader sense. Patent is a legal approval given by a particular government, meaning you need to understand patents are geographical limited entities, meaning if you file a patent in India, so that patent right is belong to India, right? I'll give you an example of what is geographical right. Let's say you invent something and you file it in your home country. In this case, let me take India as an example. Now, a company or an individual sitting in Australia looks at your patent, right? And they liked your idea and they want to produce a product out of it in Australia. And then they want to sell that product to Australian customers or in American customers or to Europe customers, right? Though you are a patent holder of that idea and you have that patent in India, you cannot claim anything to the Australia company or an individual because you don't have the patent protection right in Australia, right? So that is how the patent works. So you need to file it in the respective region or the continent in order to protect your patent. But typically, a patent is a government given legal right on which you can sell your idea. You can use that idea to produce commercial products, services, or you can give it as a rental. Somebody can use it, they can pay royalty, or even you can gift your patent to somebody else, right? So these are the most popular patent offices, but of course, it is not limited only to these countries. So broadly, there are three types of patent. We call it as design, utility, and plan patents, right? Among all, you understand you design patents and plan patents, and among all, utility patents are the very common ones, right? So even today, we will be majorly focusing on utility patents. So let us understand the word patentability, and let us try to understand to for an idea to become patentable, what are the compulsory property that it should have, right? See, what many people don't understand is they think that if I get an idea, right, then it is patentable. If I get an innovative idea, then it is patentable. No, you are supposed to be able to describe your idea technically. Unless your idea is technical, you cannot patent it. For example, long back, before inventing flights, Wright brothers, they already had an idea that we can make a device that can fly on air, right? So just for their thinking, they cannot get the patent, right? They need to invent it, and they need to be able to, even if it is not a executable product, they should be able to explain the functionality of the flight technically, right? I'll give you an example. I want to develop a car that can go faster than light. Tell me, is there any vehicle that can travel faster than light as on today? No, right? So now I am not talking about any vehicle. I'm not talking about any air medium. I'm talking about a car that will travel faster than light. Meaning, right? As an idea, it is an awesome idea. If I produce a car and if I bring it to market, I'm sure many people will buy it. But by saying this idea, can I get a patent out of it? Not possible. To get a patent, I need to able to prove this idea technically, right? I need to have all the means in which I will be able to implement this idea, right? So it should be technical. That is the first property. The second important property we call it as novel, of course, uniqueness, right? It should be new. It shouldn't exist in the past. Now, this is where many people will ask a very interesting question to me. Meaning, in order to get a patent, do I need to invent everything together by me? Not necessarily. The property novel refers to any one novel property. Okay, for example, you need not invent a light speed car, but you can take your existing car, you can make one small good enhancement which is very unique and which is very new. Okay, if you can make that one, it can be anything, right? It can be anything. If you can make that small change, if you can make that small enhancement which is unique, which is novel, which has never existed before, right, then that can be called as patentable, right? Novelty, not necessarily that you need to build the entire system unique, but at least one quality, one property that should be novel, new and unique. The third property is so much connected to the first property. In order to explain your patent, right, you need to be able to explain the idea technically with inventive steps, right? How that inventive step should look like, when you take the evaluator through the inventive steps, it should be non-obvious, meaning it shouldn't be like, the inventor knows your third step by looking at your second step, right? It should be non-obvious, it should be new, it shouldn't be predictable, right? It should be unpredictable. Only then it is called as innovative. The last property, of course, this is a subjective property. Of course, this is a property which plays a very important vital role in industry perspective, right? In order to fund your idea to be a patent, you need to project, you need to showcase how business relevant your idea is, meaning how commercially viable your idea is to your company, right? If you are from an academic background, either you can file your own patent for a very nominal cost, or if your university is sponsoring, you can still file it. But it is always good while you are inventing, how can you make use of it, either commercially or to the society? That will be essential, right? So these are the 4 important properties of any idea to be patentable, right? It should be technical, it should be novel, it should have inventive steps to explain, and it should have the business relevance. Let's look at the patenting process. So I would like to ask each one of you on the call to be more attentive, because see, you would have seen many patenting steps from others. It would be more theoretical by nature maybe, but what I'm going to show are the actual patentable steps which we practice in industry, right? So I'm sure these individual steps, if you can make a note of it, it will be highly helpful for you to plan your idea and get your idea properly filed as a patent and followed by a grant. So let me start with see, I believe I need not explain about how to create an idea and how to develop it, right? So I will assume that you got an idea and you have developed it and the product is ready. Now what to do? How to get into patenting process? Now, if your idea is ready, right, the first and foremost thing, in fact, like even during your idea progressing and the development phase, I would advise you to do this step. This is called PIS. PIS refers to prior art search. Prior art search, right? So prior art search refers to, it's simple. You can make use of any search engine, maybe Google or Bing or whichever is your favorite, right? Try to search with as many keywords with respect to your product. See, is there any similar idea or product or a tool that exists already anywhere in the world? Okay, try to figure that out. If you see something, some tool which is reflecting what you have implemented, need not to be panic, right? You can then get a consultation from a technical reviewer, and they will help you to they will recommend you to make the necessary changes in order to make your invention different from what is already existing, right? So to do all that, the first important step is prior art search, finding the relevance documents, relevance tools, relevant products existing in market today before you get into your patenting process, right? Get that clarified. Once again, I'm repeating, even if you see some similarity, you need not to panic. What you need to do is take the similarity, start looking at your product, start looking at your innovative solution, try to make changes to it, right? So that you will bring your innovative step different from what the replica that is already existing, right? So first step, prior art search. Once let's assume, like, you did prior art search and you have cleared the similarity. Now there are no similarity. Now you need to set up a review call with some technical expert. Okay, this is very, very important. So in order to do that, you need to have the proper draft of your document, right? Keep the proper draft of your document and then do the technical review. So here comes an interesting part, right? Mostly what happens is, especially in academic institutions, let's say if the idea is from a researcher, a student, then he will get that reviewed by his professor or his guide, right? Or if the idea is from a PhD scholar or a faculty member, then they will get that reviewed by their HOD. Nothing wrong with that. But please understand, your internal review alone will not help you to get the patent itself, right? So what you need to do, the best way, the best practice in industry is always get your idea reviewed and validated through a technical expert who's an SME, subject matter expert in the field. There are a lot of people, those who are good at patent reviewing. See, there are two types of reviewing. One is technical review and legal review, right? I'll come to the legal part later. I'm talking about technical review. Try to reach out to a good technical reviewer, get your idea reviewed. See, no technical reviewer or legal reviewer will review it for free. It will add up a little cost. Believe me, friends, that cost is really, really worth. Please invest that. If HOD members are there, deans are there, college management people are there, school management people are there, please help your scholars, please help your faculty members to get some financial support for their patent to be reviewed technically. I am going to talk about the commercial angle little bit going forward. So please help them so that your institution will get a real quality, meaningful patent in some time, right? Get that reviewed. Once, if the technical reviewer reviews it, and if the technical reviewer is saying you can proceed with the process, then you need to create something called innovation disclosure form, right? If you are from corporate, you need to reach out to your IP cell or patent unit, so they will tell you how to fill up your innovation disclosure form. Or else, if you are from academic institution, you can find out an invention disclosure form, or you can reach out to any patent consultants. They will help you with the format and the structure of invention disclosure form. Get that filled. Then once the invention disclosure form is filled, you need to submit it to your patent office, right? Of course, if your college is having patent office, good. If not, let me explain you the industry way. In corporate, we will have a patent office with patent attorneys. After we submit the invention disclosure form, the patent office will allocate the respective patent attorney, right, who will be mostly technical and legal both, right? So that patent attorney will come and they will look at the idea submitted, they will evaluate, they will ask their questions, right? And if required, the patent attorney with his internal team, they will do the second level check. So they will do the second level check when the patent attorney feels that after his evaluation, the idea is patentable and it will still make a business sense to the business, right? Now, once your idea crosses the patent attorney evaluation, then it will get into the second level pass analysis, where they will bring in new tools or doing the same comparative analysis with the other products, other documentations, other papers, not just in a simpler search engines like Google or Bing. They will also go with hidden deep web documents, right? So they will do an extensive search. Then that results will be given to you. You need to, if any clashing, any similarity is found, you need to justify it. Let's assume like even the second level prior art search justification process is complete, then your patent attorney will move your case to drafting counsel. Like, who's drafting counsel? So in corporate, you are supposed to prepare the detailed technical draft of your document. Otherwise, the patent draft will be drafted by your drafting counsel. It may be your internal employees who are employed already, or else your patent team or IP cell will bring the drafting counsel from outside, right? So they will help you to draft your case. Once the, and then you inventor and the drafting counsel need to come to a writing estimate. You need to approve it. Based on that, the drafting counsel will prepare the draft application. Upon completion, they will submit it for your review, right? As an inventor, though the document will be rewritten by somebody else, right? You cannot say at later point of time that I have not written that, right? You cannot make that statement. So what you need to do is, once the drafted document comes to you, you need to go through it very clearly, word by word, every single sentences. You need to understand and you need to give approval. Believe me, one interesting experience that I have seen and I enjoy even today is when I have received my first drafting counsel drafted patent draft. When I looked at it, though it was in English, the language was so different, so I couldn't even understand anything in the first read of the whole document. Meaning, it looked Greek to me. I couldn't even understand a single paragraph properly, though they have drafted everything out from my original document, right? So that will be a different language, right? So that is where you get an expert to do that, right? So, but when you go through it second time, third time, you will actually get everything and you will understand that the document is nothing but whatever you have given, whatever you have invented, that is what they have redrafted as onto this particular form, right? But make sure the sign off is your responsibility. Once if you sign off, then your patent attorney who belongs to your company or your organization, they will go ahead and file a patent on behalf of you. Once the patent document is filed, it will take minimum in general 18 months for preliminary examination. Okay. So 18 months is a standard time within which for example, let's say if you are filing your patent onto Indian Patent Office within 18 months, based on the fee that you paid within 18 months, the patent office will allocate an invigilator or controller of examination. They will go through your patent application, then they will make it live. They will make it online for public objection, right? So when it comes to live during the public objection period is when parallelly the patent office will allocate a real examiner who will technically go through and evaluate all your claims in the patent, right? If usually like what happens is during the evaluation, your patent examiner will come back to you with multiple questions asking clarifications of your document. Most of the time, the patent, if you have a expert patent attorney, they themselves will be able to answer it. If not, they will reach out to you. You will give your answers. Your justification will be drafted in a formal form, and that will be submitted to the examiner. Once if everything is answered, then that is where you are really going to get your excitement moment. You are going to get your patent granted. So typically, US patent will look like that traditionally. How happy to look at this figure, right? So yes, I'm sure, like so many steps, but these are the actual steps. This is how a patent will be processed in a more formal and a structural way and filed, and then followed by getting that granted. Right? But friends, believe me, this is going to be an exciting journey. It will be hard at the first time, but once if you do your first patent, I'm sure nobody will be able to stop you thinking towards your second patent, and the count keeps going, right? As Professor Durga Prasad mentioned, I still remember how much I struggled to get my first patent filed in April 2017, meaning April 2017 is when my patent is filed, but I have worked closely 1.5 years in order to get my patent. So the basement work is close to 2 years, right? Meaning we would have started our work sometime in March, April of 2000. I think we started sometime back in October 2015, and then we got our first patent filed in April 2017, meaning 1.5 years. So you need to really invest such a long time to get your first patent out. Of course, nobody was there to help us with so many steps that I have explained to you today. With all this guidance, you will be able to implement and get into your patent process very faster, right? So so here is a general cost structure. Of course, I'm not going to spend time here. It is for your eyes. Any of this video is going to be posted on YouTube, so you can visit here and you can recap these timelines anytime later. But at high level, when you file your patent, typically from the date of filing, you can assume 1.5 years is the time before your patent comes to live, and after it comes for public objection, publicly available in patent websites. Uh, Typically, right, the patent grants will happen between 3 to 5 years, right? Some patents can also be granted within 2 years. So any patent that gets granted within 2 years is considered to be a great achievement in inventor's life. But it is not really possible in everybody's case, right? So as if you look at my current number of patents, like I have filed so far 52 patents, and I have got 8 patents granted already. My one of the shortest granted patent in my career is 5 months, 5.5 months, 6 months, less than 6 months. So which is considered to be a great achievement. It just happened because of the business criticality and the importance, but not necessarily like we need to evaluate every patent with its shortest grant, right? Even in order to get the patent evaluated faster, there are different fee structure you need to pay. More fees only companies will be able to pay such a huge fees for early evaluation of your patent if they have a strong business reasons. As I am part of industry, that is how my company has paid for early evaluation, as some of our products had its business value for us to pay, and we unless you have substance in the patent idea, you are not going to get the grant, of course. So the grant, to me, filing itself proves that you have something substantial, and grant absolutely proves that your invention is novel and unique in the world, right? So typically, and very important thing is your total after grant, though, from the day of filing. Let's imagine you are getting a grant after 5 years, as a simple example, right? So once if the grant comes, the total grant of your idea is for 20 years, and the 20 years starts from the day of your filing, right? Though the 5 years has gone before you get your grant, only the remaining 15 years or the time period within which you need to make commercial use of it. After 20 years of your patent, overall 20 years, your patent expires, meaning the idea become global. Anybody can use it in the globe, right? So this is a word cloud of my patents and my products, just for your eyes. Let's move on. I think we are little short of time. So let us look. So now that like we have got a very clear understanding of India and patents, where we are standing, what may be the reasons, and we have also understood what is patentability and what are all the steps involved in patents. So we are ready for identifying areas for patent, right? Let us look at the subject matters. We call it as patent subject matters. Which are all the patent subject matters or patentable subject matters that can be considered as patent, right? See, you can think of any simple tool that can do something. It can be a very small. For example, we talked about the cool drink bottle opener. That is also an innovation. We talked about the roll pull can technology, right? That roll pull itself is a small tool. So that likewise, you can think of any small simple tool which can do any activity. It need not to be a great tool. It need not be very complex in nature. It can also be complex. It can be simple, but anything new, even if it is a small tool, that is patentable, right? You can think of identifying a new formula or a new composition. For example, you know, you can take two chemicals and you can come out with a hybrid chemical which has never existed before. So that itself is patentable, right? uh, or else you can design a new machine, an apparatus, or a small engine, or a very small product, a little beyond the tool. It can be completely software, or it can have some hardware component, etc. Right? And chemical synthesis. For example, there are a lot of people with the science background here, right? You can have a chemical A. You can produce A to A dash. That is an invention. Or you can produce B from A, or else you can produce something of hybrid A, right? So all this considered to be a patentable substance, right? You can also think about coming out with a technical method or process, right? Many people ask me, can I patent a business process? At least in India, you cannot. In US, there is a mechanism. There is a way to file a business process as a patent, but there is a separate way to do that, right? But in India, it is not possible. But anything technical method, a technical process that can be patentable. Yeah, man-made microorganism is patentable, right? And a biotechnology that is patentable. So in everything, what is most prominent, what is very important is all these things need to be new, right? If it is new, yes. If it is new tool, if it is a new chemical, if it is a new engine, if it is a new product, yes, that is patentable, right? So let us look at some special cases which are patentable in India but not in some which are patentable in US but not in India, right? As I said, business process can be patented in US but not in India. Integrated circuit topography cannot be patented in India. Medical treatment procedure, right? You can come out with a total treatment that can be patented in India, but the procedure you cannot patent it in India, but you can patent that in US. Plants and animal, you cannot patent it in India. Meaning, let's say if you see a strange animal, like it has maybe an additional feature, a double tail, or let's say extra eyes, or mouth is in a different shape. So these things can be patentable in US, right? Or a tree with a different feature, a hybrid tree, all that. Traditional knowledge, I mean, like the family knowledge, the business knowledge, or the traditional knowledge, the cultural knowledge. Those things cannot be patented in India, but that can be patentable in US. The method of agriculture also can be patented in US. Of course, atomic energy, it is still patentable in US. I needless to explain why it cannot be patentable in India, because other than government entities, no other entities are allowed to practice anything related to atomic energy. So it is purely internal to the country and the governments. So let me take you through some of the interesting areas that are patentable in computer science and IT. So please, those who are from different streams, maybe mechanical, electrical, electronics, or physics, chemistry, don't take me wrong. I'm not partial to anybody. I'm going to talk about computer science and IT, possibly patentable areas, because I am from that background and that is what I am aware of it. You know, I'm sure people from any stream, if you look at the areas that I'm going to talk here, you will be able to very well relate to your stream. You will be able to easily relate and figure out what can be patentable in your streams as well, right? So any customized approach, right? Any new approach in solving a technology problem, any new approach or a hybrid approach or a specially customized approach can be patentable easily, right? For example, you can think about a new database tuning technique, or we all the entire world was facing big data problem, right? Before Hadoop came in, big data was still there. We had MPP, massively parallel processing. We also had IMC, in-memory computing. With all that, prior to Hadoop, we couldn't really achieve the true big data capability. Then Hadoop came in, it played a big role. Hadoop had a joint venture with MPP technology, IMC technology. Hadoop gave us the promise of something at huge quantity of data can be even processed in a small machines. Post which we also got Spark, right? Spark again changed the way how big data technologies operated little earlier, but now we primarily play with the combination of Spark and Hadoop and many more new technologies. Serverless has come in, right? Now, what may be next? Next to Hadoop, next to Spark, next to serverless. Is there anything that you can think of new? Yes, that is another area where you can focus on. And we all know the importance of cloud, right? We talked about cloud, then inside cloud containers came, inside containers, inside cloud again, edge computing came, fog computing came. One of the Indian researcher, he has introduced roof computing that has become an IEEE standard today, right? So what may be next to fog, what may be next to roof computing, right? So something like this can be easily patentable. Or you can think of a new hybrid or customized algorithms with that algorithm alone you won't be able to get a patent, but algorithm with its hardware impact in the computer or in a specific machine. If you are from electronics background, like you can think of designing a simple algorithm that will improve the life of a capacitor or any other electronic device or electrical device or whatever, right? So in computer science, you can think about custom built machine learning algorithm for, let's say, for cloud hardware, which is attractive, mobile, or build some fusion deep learning based scoring engine, something like that, right? Any new algorithm. See, and another very interesting technique called prescriptive analytics, right? So this is an unexplored area by many researchers. So I'm opening up a very interesting area. So believe me, majority of my patents are filed in this area. This is very niche. Not many researchers or not many analytics experts are able to build engines and products out of prescriptive engine. So try to explore what is prescriptive analytics and see if you can connect your current problem with prescriptive analytics and get some great product out of it. So one of the very popular product, prescriptive analytics product in the earth today proudly is Accenture Cloud Analytics Advisor Suite, which we have built, and I own the product in Accenture for Accenture. That's a great product that has close to 50 patents that I have filed. Majority of them fall under Accenture Cloud Analytics Advisor Suite. We have inside the suite we have very interesting product like ICPS, Azure Right Sizing, S3 Advisor, Redshift Advisor, many interesting products. Guys, please explore, irrespective of whether you are from computer science or any other department, even if you are from mathematics, you are from physics, please explore what is prescriptive analytics. Try to understand and try to build some solution out of prescriptive analytics. So analytics no more is the only property of computer science or IT, but it is also included, right? You can also think about building some new age recommendation system, right? You can think of a simple tool without using any machine learning or any advanced deep learning technique, building a rule-based best employee selection in your own organization, right? That can be a very nice recommendation system. Or for non-critical jobs, you can build a new tool, new software which will do employee selection without interview. Just by feeding some data from the resume, you should be able to say whether that employee can be hired or not, by reducing the hiring process, interview time, etc. Right? And think of any new security tool with totally a novel approach or an algorithm. Or you can think about optimization problems. See, there are a lot of optimization problems that are already solved, but still you can take the existing problems and you can resolve it with your new approaches. Even that can be, if you can make that the entire process unique, that can be patented. And the final example is you can choose a known or a new problem in a very popular domain. For example, cloud is a very attractive term, very attractive technology area. It has so many problems even today, right? It still have security problem, it still has performance problem. Performance can be improved. It still has multi-tenancy problem. When you talk about big data, you can even implement something, you can invent something to do faster processing. You can do a better data management. In IoT, the data isolation is complex, device isolation is complex, privacy of users are complex, security in multiple terms, including identities, that are very, very complex. So these are all the bigger problems in popular technology domains. You can actually pick up and you can try solving any of it, right? So all these, there are so many things. I have listed few, but literally you can imagine to go beyond, much beyond the list that I have given, right? I'm sure, like, the patentability subject matters would help you to decide what can be patentable, and the areas that I have focused would give you a more a better idea towards what all independently can be thought through, and what all the areas that you can pick up and think about building your new patentable solution. So now, in addition to my usual topics, I thought I will also talk about a few more things in today's session. Right, I'm going to talk about some of the general best practices, which is applicable for everybody. After that, I'm also going to talk about some of my own principles. So I named them as I principles. So I'm going to talk about those principles. So let us look at the best practices and the principles. I think with these two content, if you can able to gain something from there, you will be able to better build your patents. Right, the first and the foremost important rule number one to me is, please understand, every single patent, every single IP is a future big wealth. Meaning, if your idea is really good, if it is sellable, if it is commercializable, right, it is going to give you the revenue profit for 20 long years, right? Not only your generation, it can also extend till your next generation at least, right? So given such important stuff, never forget, please invest little money at the beginning. That is where I said, I have seen lot of academicians, at least in India, they wanted to do everything by themselves, so that, like, they will not spend money on it, right? So it's a simple logic. If you want to get something better, you need to put money to it, right? You can think about getting a good school for your kid. You can think about getting a good mobile for yourself. You can think about buying a car. You can buy a car for 5 lakh rupees. You can also buy a car for 50 lakh rupees. Right? I'm not saying buy a 50 lakh or 1 crore rupees car, but I'm saying at least, if not 5 lakhs, try to expand it to 8 lakhs or 10 lakhs, right? In car. Similarly, at least put some money on your patent effort, right? If you want me to give you some simple number, if not for individuals, for college management, those who are here, I would assume at least with today's cost, plan 1 lakh rupees as a kind of a base investment for a single patent, right? See, you can do patent filing with all the process even less than 1 lakh, but I'm telling you a moderate number. If you can find a right patent consulting companies, there are many good there are so many good companies in India, right? With your MOU, etc., you can bring down the cost, whatever that is suitable for you, but keep 1 lakh as the kind of a landmark, right? So it will be easy for you to benchmark your price. That's the first rule. The second rule, of course, I talked about it, but I'll re-emphasize on it. Please do not self-evaluate and file IP. It is not really going to help you anywhere, right? You can have your guide, or you can have your head of the department involved in the discussion. That is still fine. But if the seniors at your area, at your organizations, if they have experience of filing good number of patents, I would imagine at least double-digit patents. If they have experience of double-digit patents, then yes, you can still take their help, you can take their guidance, and you can proceed filing patent with their evaluation. Otherwise, look for professional evaluator who will be able to help you with a smaller fee. Right? Please engage expert external technical evaluators. The third rule is, please understand collaboration is a key, right? So we always, especially in the research world, I understand we don't want to, give credit to additional people unnecessarily, which is the right way of doing things. I'm not saying like include so many people unnecessarily. Don't do that, but try to look out in your nearby area, in your office, in your organization, in your colleague circle, a little extended circle, your research circle, etc. Find out who can add value. Meaning, I'm talking about finding a guy who makes it possible to get your patent out of your idea. Probably, like you may have an idea, you would have talked to a technical expert. After evaluation, the technical expert would have said, like, no, something is missing. This cannot be patented. Even if you file a patent, it cannot be granted as a patent by the government office, right? In that scenario, instead of leaving the idea, not going anywhere, better look for that one person who will bring in that improvement, that enhancement to that idea, who will make no patent to filing a patent, right? So that person, you need to find out more number of such kind of contributors and add them into your idea, add them into your project, get the patent benefit spread across multiple people. So in corporate, this is what we say: collaboration is a key. One idea and another idea, when you merge both, it will become a best idea. Meaning, the way one brain thinks and the other brain thinks, if you put together, the idea is going to be not just unique, but it is going to be the best. Try to make use of the collaboration benefit. Right? As I mentioned already, right, which is very much connected to the first rule about your investment. Please involve professional attorneys, legal people in order to both writing your draft of application and filing your application, right? So there are so many people, you will be good at English and you want to give try in your draft. See, prepare the technical draft, but the patent draft, please give it to experts. If you want to really give a try, I would strongly advise at least the initial 3 patents, initial 3 new patent applications, get it drafted by experts so that you will actually learn how to draft, right? Because as I mentioned, if you look at the professionally drafted patent application, which is not hidden anywhere, you can just search for any patent application online. You can go to my LinkedIn profile, you can look for any of my granted patents, search for the document will be available online. Go through that, try to understand how much you will be able to extract technically from those English paragraphs. So you will really understand the patent draft language is like Greek. It will be difficult in the first time, right? But I would advise at least after 2 or 3 patent help drafted by external attorneys, then you can start drafting patents by your own, right? Here is the 5th rule, right? While I said collaboration is a key, I am also saying that limit inventors based on their individual contributions, right? As the figure says, patent is not just a fruit or a food which you can simply share to others, right? It is an intellectual property, meaning it is the brain outcome. The patent has to be, included with the person who truly helped you to get that patent, right? Not for everybody. So I have seen many people, they simply include their management, some senior people, just for getting maybe promotion or some other benefits. It is okay, but I would strongly advise understand the meaning and importance of intellectual property and give the property to the right contributors. For example, if you have your own house, that is your own property, right? Which is a physical property, not an intellectual property. Now you won't give your own house to your known people simply, right? You wanted your own house to go to your family people, because that is your property. Similarly, intellectual property is your property. The benefit has to go to the real contributors. The rule number 6 is, please understand, great problem statement is not invention. Meaning, if somebody comes and says, this is the problem statement, and if somebody else is coming out a solution, understand, anybody can say problem, right? I also said, yeah, interesting problem statement. Creating a vehicle that will go faster than light. It's a very, very interesting, great problem statement. But is it an invention? No, somebody has to put effort and come out with that invention, right? So please understand, people who give you problem alone may not be eligible to become, uh, uh, you know, inventors into your patent. And the last statement is, please understand, all developers are not inventors. Meaning, let's say you have an idea, right? You have an idea and you already have the technicality of it. You know how technically to implement it, but you need more people to get that implemented. Now you have drafted the step-by-step, steps of your invention, and you are engaging some other people for purely development purpose, right? Let's say if those developers during the development phase, they are adding some value, they are giving some new ideas to you, they are enhancing your current solution to better, then yes, certainly they also can be an inventors. But if they are going to simply develop whatever you have instructed without giving any contribution, then they need not to be, not necessarily to be an inventor into a patent, right? So these are the 7 best practices, I call 7 rules when it comes to patent filing process. Excuse me. So let us look at some of the interesting principles. So I call them as Dr. Madhan's innovation principle. In short, these are I principles. So there are 5 I principles, right? See, when you think about patent, always think unique and valuable, and please try to solve for today's problem. I've seen a lot of people, they focus on a very complex technology solution or theoretical solution for 20-25 years later, right? Is it bad? No, it is really good. We also need people to do that. But at least to me, what is important is, if you can look at today's problem and try to solve, if you give one step of solution and you file a patent, right? Somebody else will pick up that first step and then they will go to second, third step. Somewhere we will get the real solution, right? So thinking unique and valuable, equally important to look at the current problems, today's problem, and get solution immediately out. The second the second principle is, prepare yourself before getting into the invention, right? To me, battle, invention, or doing anything is same. Why I said battle, right? See, if you're a warrior, if you don't practice properly, if you don't prepare properly all the war necessary techniques, if you are going to a war field, right, you are standing in front of enemy, it may not be one person, it may be a group of people. If you don't know the proper technique to protect yourself and kill your enemy, you will be killed. And if you are killed once, you are not going to get the second chance, right? Similarly, any activity, be it patent invention or maybe taking session for Monday or doing an online course or training your student or simply brushing today morning or normal brushing tomorrow morning, right? Everything is an activity, right? For any activity, if you don't prepare and if you don't execute that activity at best, you will not be able to do it again. Meaning, whatever the way I have brushed today morning, I can never repeat that brushing for today. I can do it tomorrow. I lost this time. Similarly, for example, when I have come for this session and I know that I'm going to address hundreds of people from diverse background, so I have made my own preparation. I know that if I don't prepare well, I may not be able to deliver the same session on August 8th at 2 p.m. to 4:30 p.m. in India time. Again, it's one time opportunity, right? So I need to do my best. So that is applicable to patent also. Explore, read, prepare whatever is required. Once if it is done, then invent like revolutionary and you be crazy, right? Once if your preparation is done, you do crazy things, it will become a great innovation. Let's move on to my third principle, right? So I said it's not necessary that you need to invent something, I mean, entirely new, right? Even a part of it can be a simple enhancement can also be considered as an invention that can also be filed as a patent. While I said that, I also advise that it is very easy to think about simple improvement, right? A simple enhancement. But what is next? That question, if you can try to answer, you will become a great inventor, right? Just we can talk about many examples, right? How many of us even realize? How many of you even thought sometime in 2000 or before 2000 that one day we all will communicate wirelessly, traveling across any place, right? Uh, in mobile. So for us, mobile means wire connection, right? In order to talk to somebody from Hyderabad to Chennai, right? I need to have a wire somewhere physically connected from this house to that house. How complex it is, right? Then of course optical cable. Once again, that had its own complexity. But have you ever thought being in Hyderabad or being in Mysore, I can just dial up anybody, let's say a person in Germany, a person in Australia. I can simply call. He may be from Germany, he may be traveling in China, but I will still be able to reach out to him. There is no necessity of a wire connection between Mysore to Germany to China, right? That is not necessary. So who expected that mobile device will come and do something like this, right? Imagine in the period of 2001 and 2005, have you ever thought, at least in India, of course, the global world, have you ever thought that we will not use Nokia mobile phones anymore? Never imagined, right? Have you ever thought like we all will be aspired, we all will be excited to get iPhone or a mobile phone from Apple? Never. How many of us remember Kodak camera and the camera film? Today, none of us go to camera. I mean, the photo studio to develop our photos, right? We all develop our photos and enhance our photos online in our own computer or in our own mobile after taking any picture on any number of times, right? So we can keep talk about many examples. So imagine if you are working before 2000, if you are working, let's say from 95, have you ever thought that you need not to go to bank in order to withdraw your money? You need not to go to bank in order to transfer your money to anybody. in your family number staying in other city or in foreign. Today everything is happening. So this is what about next level. If you think about what is next level, let's say today I talked about mobile phone, right? Why don't you think about what may be next level? Forget about wireless mobile, something new, right? That thinking process will take you to be a great inventor. See, never forget, you can invent anything, you can design anything, you can produce anything, but unless you understand what your customer want, what your audience want, and see, your product can be complex, your product can be difficult to make, but when it goes to audience, you need to make sure that you customize, you simplify it. You should be able to use it in a simpler way. How many of us know how complex the coding behind Android, how complex the coding behind your iPhone, how complex the coding behind your Samsung mobile, right? But as a user, when you're paying, let's say 1 lakh for iPhone, when you buy it, you don't bother about the coding. You don't need to understand the scripts at the back of your iPhone, the chip design, the VLSI design, the embedded connectivity, nothing. You just pay the price, take the phone, just dial the number and call anybody, whomever you want. Just go to YouTube, start watching any video you want. So that's simple, right? So you need to simplify and customize to the audience in order to succeed in your product venture, right? And the most important, the last principle is, as long as you think from consumer, meaning if you think always from, okay, I'm using mobile phone, what may be the next thing that I can use, then you are not going to be an inventor. You need to change your mindset from consumer to provider. You need to imagine, if I am the Apple company, if I am Samsung, if I am HP laptop, how I am providing these services today. Only this mindset will help you to arrive at what you can build for tomorrow, right? So please, to become an inventor, change your mindset from consumer to provider. So in summary, these are my invention principle, right? I call it as Dr. Madhan's I principles, 5 I principles. So now I have brought a special topic for today's session, right? So I think that will be a short session, but it will be a star session for all of us here. So I'm going to talk about something called I foresight. The name is very interesting, right? I foresight. So yeah, in fact, like I took so much time. I dreamt a lot to keep the name. So this is my first patent that I have filed in my employee company. Right. So what is I foresight? So I'm going to talk about a simple journey of my first patent, I foresight. What was the problem? How we come out with a solution, etc. Of course, you can search for my first patent. I will leave the name of the patent later. You can take the patent document and you can actually go through in detail. You can understand about how technically we have implemented. But I'm going to take you through a simpler journey of how we filed the first patent, right? So what was the problem that we have taken? The problem that I have taken was cloud. In cloud, there are so many things. Just now I said security is a problem, performance is a problem, data is a problem, many other problems, right? So the problem that I have taken was data, right? As I needless to explain, data in cloud is huge, heavy, much heavy. So now people with heavy data in cloud, one thing all business want to do is forecasting. They want to forecast this, they want to forecast that, they want to forecast the sales of their business, they want to forecast the customer interest, they want to forecast how many products customer will buy next month and next 3 months, next 1 year, so that they can make their proper supply chain plan, they can make their proper manufacturing plan, etc. Right? So forecasting is a key in cloud with respect to cloud data. But as the data is mammoth, the data is so huge, forecasting in cloud is not that easy also, right? So wow, then we wanted to do, right? So we got one of the customers. The customer came to us with a huge amount of data, said that please try to help us with forecasting for this data. So we took the data, right? Me and my team, we spent a lot of time. See, it's easy to build a simple analytics model and then deliver a solution, but we want to give them the best benchmark solution. So we took many machine learning algorithms. We tried out many forecasting techniques, basically not machine learning algorithms. In this case, we tried out many. Then we finalized one interesting technique, right? We liked that technique, and it had the best accuracy, best in everything. It had a best evaluation output for us, better false positive, false negative, all the criteria were set. Then we felt that we should go ahead with that model. So we built the model, a very high accuracy forecasting model, and we delivered to a sample client, our first client. Okay, it was very successful. And what we did was we tested the same model, the same tool with a different client. To our surprise, what happened was when we tried to test this with a different client data, the accuracy has dropped so much low, right? Which is acceptable, but still it is low. Then we don't know what to do. We ended up with a red signal, right? So we tried multiple algorithms, and again we came out with a new forecasting model for the second client. Then for second client, this tool, this model has given good accuracy. Whereas when we applied this to our first model, first data, it gave low accuracy. That's where I realized we can build great tool for a great model for the given data, right? I don't know. After 3 months for the same client, if I apply the same technique, it may or it may not give the similar result, right? If the data changes, the accuracy will also fall down. That is what happens, right? In today, there are a lot of readily available predictive analytics solutions and forecasting solutions that are in the market. Even the today's trend is, if you want to imagine a good forecasting tool, you need to go and buy a readily available tool, and it will have only one model running at the back end. It may or may not be best fit for your data, right? So that is where I thought, instead of solving problem for that one customer, I want to solve for the forecasting problem itself. So what we did was we started building an entirely new structure. So we come out with a multi-model approach, right? Of course, it will take a good enough time for me to explain the multi-model approach, so I'm not going to spend time now. But certainly, you can actually go through my patent document. You will understand how interesting the approach is. We built a multi-model approach where we have included 10 plus best forecasting techniques, and in addition to multi-model approach, we have also included multi-evaluation strategy. Meaning, see, in analytics, depending upon the analyst or a data scientist, they will choose the evaluation strategy, right? Usually they'll go with one, but there are popular more number of evaluation strategies available for analytics algorithms. So we have chosen 3 best evaluation strategies as per our benchmarking scheme. So we have come up with, you can imagine, like 10 models and 3 evaluation strategy. Now what happened was, in addition to that, we have also included like many other additional features like auto missing value by using KNN and standard values. We also included multi-collinearity, outlier treatment. We did it with IQR, Six Sigma method. So you can understand, right? If you are coming from data science background, these are all very complex techniques to put together into a single system, right? But this is what we did. Like, everything goes into a single system. Everything sets and clears the proper data processing in a more efficient manner. And then we have included the big data framework in order to process such a huge framework. Finally, we developed this structure. I wouldn't call it as an architecture, but this is how our innovative solution look like. Finally, it gives the very complex and high accurate data. You can imagine, like, in this case, what happens is once the data comes to our system, it immediately goes to the big data store, and it get intelligently processed by all the data treatment technique that I have explained just now, and then it will be executed by so many techniques mentioned here. Let's say 10, every data gets executed with 10 technique, and after that, out of 10, this is also all 10 outputs will be evaluated by MAP, RMSC, MAD evaluation technique, meaning earlier 10 multiplied by 3. So every single data gets into 30 cycle of evaluation before the final forecasting comes in. Finally, with the highest accuracy, with highest balance of the false positive, false negative, and other analytic metrics, we give the most highest accurate forecasted values to customers. So, and let's say if the customer changes or the data changes, automatically each data gets into this 30 cycle, and we are not going to repeat what was presented to the customer in the previous time. It is going to choose the best once again this time. So that way, together, the customer every time, irrespective of whether they are going to use the same data or different data, or if they are going to get a different dynamics due to external changes into the data, in any way, they are going to get the best results for their forecasting problem. So that way, you can understand, right? So this particular tool has underwent a lot of changes, almost like built itself. We did for close to a year for this. Finally, we got the patent out. Of course, in addition to filing a patent in US, Europe, UK, Australia, and India, we have already got the grant from US for this patent, right? So I think, probably by hearing how we have built the first patent, you would have got some idea of how you can also strategize your first patent journey from here on, right? I think we are so much close to the end of the session. So let me talk about the India patent movement quickly before we conclude the session. Right. So as I said, the India Patent Initiative has been driven by Researchers Academy. I'm sure some of you would be already part and members of Researchers Academy. If you're not, I wholeheartedly invite you to become members. I'll tell you how you can become member for Researchers Academy at the end of the slide. Right. So let us understand what is this India Patent Initiative. Right. So here is a question before I actually answer what is this initiative is all about. The question is, are you happy about India's number being 216 in international ground with 10 lakh researchers per 10 lakh? Can you answer in your chat window? I'll repeat the question. Being an Indian, are you happy to see India to have only 216 researchers per 10 lakh in international grounds? Okay, I'm so happy that I'm seeing so many no's. I am not seeing any single yes in the chat. Okay, so let me take that as no as an answer for each one of you. If you are saying no, then when can we make India number one, let's say with 8,000 plus inventors per million? Do we have any timeline? Right? Let's try to understand. Let's like from 216 to 8,000 is a very big number. Let's try to understand how to make this 216 plus 1, meaning 217, right? If you want to make this statistics to add only one value from 216 to 217, we need new 1,300 inventors. You understand what I'm saying, right? Apart from the current inventor, maybe I am ignored, I am eliminated from the crowd. We need new 1,300 inventors in India. Only then we can make 216 to 217. Right? Now you imagine how to make 8,000 plus inventors, right? So that is where the India Patent Initiative comes in, right? So what we are doing is, our plan is starting today, right? We are planning to increase at least 1,300 inventors throughout India with the help of Researchers Academy's collaboration from now to 22 February 2022, right? Approximately like 1.5 years from now, right? So we call this as, in India Patent Initiative, we call this as Mission India +1, right? Or M+1. So this is the aim. This is what India Patent Initiative is all about, right? So I wholeheartedly invite each one of you, if you are a student, take this message, take this YouTube link and share it with your friends to go through the session, let them understand what is India Patent Initiative. Let us together, let's build, M+1 mission, a grand success by February 2022. If you are a faculty member, please take this message, our session on India Patent Initiative, to your co-colleagues, your friends in other colleges. Take it to your own family members. Make them aware of what is India Patent Initiative. We need minimum 1,300 new inventors. Means that is not only the target, that's the minimum target that we are targeting, right? So so see, to become part of India Patent Initiative, what you need to do, if you are an institution, if you are an individual, how you can become part of India Patent Initiative. And before I take you there, I want each one of you to please remember the date. Of course, the date is quite knowable. It's very easily kept that way, right? Our target date is February 22, 2022, right? To become part of India Patent Initiative, see, Researchers Academy is invitation from educational institutions and industries. What you need to do is just send your interest to the email ID membership@researchersacademy.org, and in the subject line mention institutional membership hyphen your college name or your school name, right? If you are an individual, if you are from academics, if you are a student, if you are an R&D expert from industry, you can also take your individual membership. Just write to researchersacademy.org, membership@researchersacademy.org. The subject line mention individual membership hyphen your name, okay? And drop your interest. The Researchers Academy will do the background research about your institution or about your individual, and they will get back to you with the form to be filled in, and you will be made as member of Researchers Academy. So, and another interesting factor is, as you all aware, Researchers Academy is a non-profitable organization. It's a purely research-driven organization. They have made the membership for both institutions as well as individual free till end of this year, because the target, the aim is to drive India Patent Initiative and drive more number of patents at every individual institutions, at your institutions. Research Academy will try to extend the possible support by providing whatever the support needed to drive this initiative. So make use of this timeline. Your membership, the paid membership will start from January 1st. You'll be noted sometime around November or December time to renew your membership, to continue your membership. But I would strongly suggest go and make use of the free membership now and get yourself registered. Right, so that's it from my side. If you want to reach me, so here I'm leaving my contact details. So from the session perspective, we are good. I think I have covered what I want to really communicate to each one of you. So let me check with the moderators if there are any questions let's take questions for another 10 to 15 minutes, and then let's wind up. Professor Durga Prasad, do you have any questions from audience?
Actually, am I audible, sir? Am I audible, sir?
Yeah, you are audible.
Yeah. Actually, in the chat box, I could not find any questions. Probably the things are clear because everything has been explained in clear and perfect way. But in case if I get any queries after the session, I will definitely forward to you so that we'll revert back to all the participants, sir.
Sure.
Anything?
Thank you, Professor Durga Prasad. So then, in that case, I'm so glad. You know, you are quite clear and you could able to gain what you have expected out of today's session. Thank you for being a patientful listeners. You all are fantastic. You have made me very comfortable, and you know, I'm sure I enjoyed your active participation. I could able to see a lot of response for all my questions. So you know, I enjoyed being with you today. So here are my contact details. If you want to reach out to me, please email me your queries, questions. I'll be more than happy to connect and contribute. In addition, if any of your institution also wanted to drive a similar India Patent Initiative session, or if you want to do a patent awareness session either to your college faculty members and your students, or you want to do you want to conduct a national or international patentable session, we will be more than happy at Researchers Academy to assist you. So let us know. Thank you so much for the opportunity, and I would like to convey my sincere thanks to ACE Engineering College and its management. A special thanks to our beloved GK sir, you know, who's my role model. I always inspired by our GK sir. So thank you, sir, for all your guidance and motivation to make me what I am today. And uh, uh, beyond GK sir, AS institution is always great. I always have and had a great continued lovable relationship, and thanks, special thanks to Professor Durga Prasad, who's a director of industry relationship, who extremely efficiently organized this program. I don't think anybody would be able to perfectly organize this program to such a smoother and perfect way. Congratulations. I'm sure AS College is getting such a perfect benefit from its industry director. I wish all the participants on today's call great success, and I want to conclude my session by repeating something that I already mentioned on the call. Please dream about getting your first patent filed. Of course, grant is the end and it will happen automatically, but please, at the end of this session, I want each one of you to dream to have your first patent filed, possibly as soon as, but at least for sure before February 2020. All the best. Jai Hind. Over to you, Professor Durga Prasad.
So on behalf of ACE Engineering College Management, our beloved GK sir, our principal Dr. BL Rajagaru, our heads, and more importantly, our training and placement cell, and on behalf of more and more important, the participants from different colleges. Almost we got 50 plus colleges participants, and we got around 15 to 20 industry people who are a part of this session, and they have actually been continuously involved in this. It's a good sign that we could organize more and more events and take the inputs from the industry experts like our Dr. Madhan sir. I actually need to mention the name last because I have a lot of things to thank to him. So all my team members who have helped me in making this session, my management for supporting me to do this event, and my principal sir who is always behind our implementation, and my team members, and more importantly, a big thanks to our beloved Dr. Madan sir, who could spend a lot of time with us. Actually, we were been troubling you for the last 2 days, sir, and it's almost planned from 1 month. And last 2 days I was behind you because I want to ensure the session happen without much trouble. And apologies for making you more trouble for this, but still, I hope this session and the inputs particularly that have been shared, giving an insights, not just be what exactly the cloud and all that, but you have given insights regarding what is a patent, how do we need to start work on a patent, and hope people will take the inputs from this session, like start thinking about beyond just publications to start thinking in regard to the patents, and believe we had got a wonderful and very informative session that is useful for all the faculty and the industry people, and some of the students were a part of the session. Definitely they take things and start practicing those insights. So actually I thought to make our principal sir and GK sir also would convey his words, but I got a message from them that thank you for spending your valuable time and giving a very important insights which we can utilize during this time, because we got some extra time to work on this. Probably as you mentioned, by 22nd February 2022, from our college side also we can make a contribution and make ourselves a part of this patents movement of India. Okay. Thank you, sir. And with this, I would like to thank everyone who are a part of this session. And any queries, actually, in case after this session also, you can just forward us. We'll try to forward to Madan sir and try to get it back. Thank you one and all for joining the session. Madan sir, thank you and very much.
My pleasure. Thank you.
Right. Thank you one and all.